Alright then, last night got into a game. Big Easy came from Canada. He's here visiting Czech Republic, and he has some time for us to get into some games with him. And I had played Nekusar, and I realized that Nekusar's mana base is it needs some work. So Nekusar already has a long setup time. What I'm trying to do is, of course, protect myself until I can get out a 5-mana commander with still mana available to have a counterspell or one of the Undying Evil effects. So when he gets killed, I can bring him back. Well, he's having trouble getting sometimes the red, mainly the red. So the colors are balanced. I've got a Crumbling Necropolis, I've got a Command Tower, I've got all 3 fetch lands, I have all 3 shock lands, I have all 3 pain lands, I have all 3 check lands, the ones that come into play tapped, unless you have a mountain, a land of a basic land type. I have 2 of the lands that come into play tapped, unless you have a, 2 or more basic lands. One of them is red-black, the other is blue-black. I have 4 mountains, and he doesn't want to give me the red. Looking at the mana rocks, I have a Talisman of Creativity, blue-red. I have an Is a Signet, blue-red. I have a Talisman of Dominance, blue-black, and I have a Recto Signet, black-red. So I don't have the Mirror Signet, the black-blue one, and I don't have the black-red Talisman, but it's still fairly balanced. But the deck doesn't want to give me red. And I found this in my goldfish testing. See, there's some red right there. Goldfish testing, in addition to the live games. So that's a problem. One, since I won't be playing that many creatures to defend myself, I need to get some of my effects out, like No Mercy. I had Silent Arbiter out, and that was pretty good for a while. That was protected until I got killed. No Mercy, which 2 black enchantment, whenever creature deals damage to me, destroy it, which is great because it doesn't say non-creature damage. So if fucking Grayson Starn is out there pinging us for 3 and I drop No Mercy, he pings me for 3 and that little son of a bitch dies. Fuck you, Grayson Starn. Anyway, and then I've got Damnation. Maybe I don't have enough board wipes. I have Damnation and the Genie's Expertise. Genie's Expertise, of course, is 2 black for a sorcery. All creatures get -3 until end of turn. And I can put something that costs 3 or less from my hand into play. Let me see if I can find the Genie's Expertise. There it is. See, the Genie's Expertise. But then I only have about 7 ways of getting people to draw more cards off a Windfall Wheel of Fortune type effects. I only have about 7 wheel effects. I put in Nin the Pain Artist, so I can hit a creature and deal damage to people and they draw cards. But that's something else. So what I'm thinking is take out some of the basic lands and double down, go in deeper on the specialty lands. Really open myself up to be getting blown out by Blood Moon. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Blood Moon or Back to Basics will kick my ass all by itself if I keep going this way. Anyway, so what I'm thinking is Bad River comes to play tapped. I can go find an island or swamp card, put it into play. So this is the Mirage comes into play tap fetch lands, and as I always say, Wizards need to get off their fucking ass and finish the cycle. They only have the allied color, allied land finders. They don't have the enemy. There isn't one for blue-green. There isn't one for black-white. And it's been 20 years. What the fuck are they waiting for? they can throw them in a commander deck and people will eat them up. I'm going to take out the Reliquary Tower because I really don't need it. I realize as good as it is sometimes, it's highly situational. So if I put an Ancient Tomb instead, well, this is kind of bent, then it's more effective. If I'm going to be tapping for colorless, I might as well get more colorless. And then I have these. So I open these are foil, and a box of Modern Horizons 2 that I opened, maybe across the 2 boxes I opened. And I just kept them because they're pretty, because I like looking at them. And the quotes are funny. The path to knowledge is forged in hunger. The path to ruin is forged in pain. I do not have the blue-red one. I put it on order. So these come into play tapped. They're indestructible. And Tezzeret can find them. Let me show you Tezzeret the Seeker for those. Oh, okay. Here's No Mercy. See? 2 black, black. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, fucking kill it. Die, you little son of a bitch. Let's find Tezzeret right quick. The other thing is about these artifact lands is yesterday I put a unwinding clock in the deck. So I untap my artifacts with everybody else's untap step. So if I have these artifact lands, they will untap during everybody else's upkeep. Untap step. So that'll be nice. I could put the artifact lands from Shards, the originals, but those are not indestructible. Those are shakier. People could just start killing off artifacts and screw me for mana, and I don't want that. That's a good one. It's a Tarapaca Camania from Chile. So this is Tezzeret the Seeker. 3 blue, 4 loyalty starting planeswalker. Negex. Go look for an artifact card with CMC X or less and put it in play in the shuffle. So he could find these and I can just put them into play. So that, if I get him out, that gives me more options there. Unwinding Clock, by untapping the artifacts, gives me more access to mana for instants and so on. For example, yesterday, if I had an Unwinding Clock out, so I can cast Nekusar, and if I have just one of these, just one, cast Nekusar, tap myself out, but during my next opponent's untap step, I would untap an artifact land. I would have mana available for an Undying Evil effect, which would have made a huge difference, but that's not what happened. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take out one of each basic land. So I'm going to go down to, 3 swamps? I'll have 3 swamps, 4 islands, and 4 mountains. Yes, I was complaining that red was the problem. But if I add more lands I can find, I'm going to get the blue-red one later. I already ordered it, but it'll take a couple days for my LGS to put the order together. So we'll take those out. And then for the Ancient Tomb, I will take out the reflecting tower, Reliquary Tower. And then I also thought of putting him in. So I've got a speed bump. Trap him down, go find one of the colors I'm missing, and then I've got a speed bump that draws me a card. Thinking that might be a good idea. Problem is switching the mana base around, making the mana base more efficient. That's not terribly difficult. Switching the creature base around and the spells around, that's where it starts to get a bit shaky. That's where it becomes more difficult, painful to make the changes. I'm sure all of you are that. Anybody who has a commander deck and has gone through this process, you know what I'm talking about. you get this card that, oh, this would be perfect for this deck. But everything else in the deck is already perfect for the deck, so what the fuck do I take out for this new card that is perfect for the deck? You know that pain? You know that sucks, doesn't it? So do I really want the Bad River? If I put in the Bad River, I should probably drop another. Dropping an island would probably be the most appropriate one. So then I would go down to 3 of each for basic lands. Of course, that limits what he could find, but I don't think I would have all 9 basics in play before I get him. Somebody asked me why I did this. I do this because this sleeve is it's fitting the card, but it's not tight. So if I push it down in there as it is, the friction will push the inner sleeve out. Here, I'll demonstrate. Oh, and of course it just goes right in. It makes a liar out of me. Thank you, Agent Tim. Thank you for your shitty demonstration. So, putting in Bad River, then I would have 4 fetch lands. I should get a, what is it, Xander's Lounge? A Xander's Lounge, the black, blue, red Triome from New Capenna. I should put that in here. But I don't have one right now. My LGS doesn't have any. So, is it going to do it? See, look, there it goes. See, it pushes it up. So I need to order that from MKM. And I need to wait for somebody to purchase something from me in order to have the money in an MKM. Because I've blown all my magic money for the month already. The month is half over, and all my magic money has already been blown. Spent. Exhausted. So I'll put these in. And then when I get because it's only 20 crowns, I can afford 20 crowns. It's like a buck, a euro. Not even a euro, 80 euro cents. When I get the blue-red bridge, whatever the fuck it's called, I'll take out an island for that. So that gives me 2 more dual lands of some stripe. It gives me fast mana, and it gives me another fetch land. So this can find any of the islands, any of the swamps, any of my shock lands, and any of the looks and sees you have 2 or more basic lands, which by taking out basics, I'm making those kind of worse. Really slowing the deck down. Right then, let's see if there's anything obvious I can take out for the Sodom Simulacrum. Well, he advances my game plan. Scrawling Crawler 3 for 3/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, my upkeep, everybody draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 1 life. So he hurts people. Echo Vions, 4 blue, everybody shuffles their hand, graveyard and labyrinth, draws 7 cards. And this starts as a new graveyard. So after this resolves, this will be sitting in the graveyard, and I can flash it back. Venser is just too good. Maybe I should take out one of the mana rocks. For example, I have a Thran Dynamo. It adds 3 colorless. It costs 4. This costs 5, but it gives me 3 of any one color, so this is more interesting. If I take out the Thran Dynamo, then I'm losing a mana rock. But I'm gaining something that can block and something that can fix my colors, so that's a possibility. That's an idea. The Wheel of Fortune and Windfall Deed fit the deck strategy, so they're not coming out. Venser, somebody last night, Cube killed me with Varensolix that had Infect and some bullshit. If I'd had Venser, I could have bounced that bastard back to his hand and survived another turn to figure out what to do in the next turn. But he didn't, so Venser's not coming out because he would have really helped. Nivmis is good because when he comes down, if I have Nekusar out, whenever my opponent's drawing cards taking damage, I'm drawing cards. Which is why the Reliquary Tower was in there, but so be it. Misavith, that would have helped against stupid Vrenslicks too, but I did have it to play. Unwinding Clock, well, this is getting better because of the artifact lands. And Kane saying, yeah, I need the mana rocks. That has become apparent. Because there's no green. I don't really have much land search. I don't have the green for it, so it is what it is. Darksteel Plate, make Nekusar indestructible. What else? Hibernation. Oh yeah, that would have helped against stupid Vrenslicks. Arcane Denial. Counter it, yeah. Dying Evil. Copy something. Huh. So I can drop one of the lands to play with her. Blue-red for 2/3 Human Artificier. Tap, put 2 Ingenuity counters on her. Then I may put an artifact card of the mana value X less from my hand onto the battlefield, where that's the number of counters she has. So if I could just tap her, give her the 2 counters, and drop an artifact land. That's not a bad play. Scroll Rack. Do I really need Scroll Rack? This is here, so if I don't have a counterspell in hand, or an Undying Evil effect in hand, I can dig for it. At instant speed and only cost 1 to dig for it. Because I only have 6 of these Undying Evil effects, and I only have, 5 counterspells. And if I have Teferi's Puzzle Box, I'm constantly taking the cards in my hand and putting them on the bottom and then drawing them many cards. So if I draw a batch of cards that doesn't have anything useful, I can rack for the rest. So that's probably good to keep. Etherize. Yeah, that would have solved Vrenslicks for a couple turns. 1 black for Blood Chief Ascension enchantment. Beginning of every end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, which, with Nekusar, dealing 2 points of damage to them every turn because they're drawing cards, 2 cards, that, it'll tick up right away. Whenever a card is put into a opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if it has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have them lose 2 life. If you do, you gain 2 life. Well, there's a memory jar in here. So if this is active, if this is 3 counters, and I break the jar, the memory jar, everybody draws 7 cards. They take their hand, set them aside. Then they draw 7 cards. Unless any of them have instants or flashy creatures, which I would break the jar on my turn so I could cast the stuff I draw. At the end of the turn, they will discard their hand. So that would be 14 damage to each player that isn't me. And I would gain 14 life for every player that isn't me. Haha, not bad. Not bad at all. If it works. There it is, Teferi's Puzzle Box. 4. Everybody's draw phase counts the cards in their hand, put them on the bottom of the library, and draw that many cards. So if Nekusar is in play, yeah, they're taking a lot of damage every turn. I didn't count this as a wheel effect, but I should. Riptide Laboratory, Spell Bomb. Sometimes I need to exile somebody's graveyard, so that'll do the trick. Time Spiral, another wheel, Feign Death, another way of keeping Nekusar alive. I have this in here because Jura can put it into play quickly. Tezzeret can find it quickly. Do I want to keep it though? Let's put that up there. Evgeny's Expertise, Chromatic Lantern, Whirlpool Warrior. She comes to play. I shuffle the cards in my hand into the library, draw that many cards. And then red, I can sacrifice her and she becomes Windfall. this is too good. So if somebody's going to kill Nekusar, and I don't have an Undying Evil effect, I can just one blue tap, put him back in my hand. Or any of my other creatures with a come into play ability that I want to bounce back and reuse. Silent Arbiter, there he is. Shh, he's silent. 4, for 1/5 artifact creature. Only one creature can attack each combat. Only one creature can block each combat. Choose your champion carefully. Dang Malice, one of the Undying Evil effects in Nekusar. I really should get another Talisman of Indulgence for this deck. I put it on my want list. I figured 2 Signets, 2 Talismans, that should be enough. Guys, I kind of balanced them, but I'm having trouble getting the fucking red. Like last night, for 4 or 5 turns, that's the only red that I had. Pissed me off. Counter-target spell, remove it from the game. So I'm looking for something that is worse than Solemn Simulacrum in the deck. Oh no, this is not coming out. So I had this in play for a little while, and it was working. Every time somebody drew 2 cards, I would gain 2 life. Damnation Command Beacon, when he dies and I can't do anything about it, recast him at 7, and then after I recast him again, I'll just say, okay, no, fuck that. I'll sacrifice this, put him back in my hand, cast him for 7. Urtai Resurrected, he's proven his value and usefulness, so he stays. Is it Chronarch? When he comes to play, I bounce an instant or sorcery from my graveyard back to my hand. Do I really need to do that? And yeah, Archaeomancer is cheaper, but I like the way this guy looks. I like the art a lot. I like the way the colors are. I like the shading. I like that it's the foil, the way it looks. So I'm playing it in this deck intentionally, even though Archaeomancer is strictly better. She costs 2 colorless blue-blue. He costs 3 colorless red-blue. So 5 to 4. She's a 2/2. He's a 2. Same thing otherwise. I just like him. But do I need him in this deck? Maybe. I do need to have some creatures because I get attacked and I need to block. And I can reuse his ability by bouncing him back to my hand with Crystal Shard or Riptide Laboratory. Nin the Pain Artist, new addition to the deck. She replaced Jin Cataxius. I expect her to be more on theme with the deck. X blue-red tap. She deals X damage to our creature. They draw X cards. If I give her the Basilisk Collar, then I've got an assassin. She can just kill her creature every turn. Die, bitches, die. Soul Ring, yeah, want to keep that. Spell Skite helps to protect Nekusar. The whole deck revolves around Nekusar. So I have a lot of ways, and I need a lot of ways to protect his ass. She's here, and I haven't had her in my hand that often to really gauge how effective she is. But let's keep her in. Narset's Reversal. This is here, mainly, so if somebody casts some bullshit, I can make them put it back, and then I get the bullshit. But how good is it really? Would I be better off by putting a dual caster mage? Well, dual caster mage copies the spell, so if I don't want it to go off the way it's going off. For example, Cube, he plays this, it costs 6 mana. It's a black-green spell. I forget what it's called. He plays it in his Hazel deck, and he gets to destroy, I think, an artifact, enchantment, land, and something else. You pick 3 and destroy those 3. So if I put that back in his hand and I copy it, I get to choose new targets for the copy, so I get to destroy other things. And he's cast it quite often. And there's other things like, Of course, there's, swords or plowshare, shit like that. Because she's so open-ended, because this card is so open-ended, there's so many possibilities. It hasn't proved itself yet. But I better keep it in to be safe. Yeah, there's another wheel effect. I love that art. I hate the other Justin Hampton Wheel of Change. Fuck that. I hate his art. There's a Ritual Subdual. It's a green enchantment. It's the only card that he's done that I can stand. The rest of it, I just don't like looking at it. Fuck that. So if this was not printed, if there was not another art on Winds of Change, I wouldn't be playing one because I wouldn't want to look at it. Dak Faden. Just got him. Really happy to get him. Wanted a foil conspiracy copy for a few years now. Finally have one. 1 blue-red, 3 loyalty planeswalker. Target player draws 2 cards and throws away 2 cards. Haha, it takes 2 points of damage. Nekusar's in play. Steal an artifact. And it doesn't matter how big it is. You just steal it. Sweet. Neg 6. Emblem. Whenever you cast a spell that targets one or more permanents, gain control. Well, since most of my spells that target permanents are the Undying Evil effects that would target Nekusar, I would just continuously reassert control over Nekusar in case he gets any ideas of running away or freedom. Fuck that. He's my bitch. He ain't going nowhere. Time reversal. A lot of you are probably thinking, why don't you take this shit out? It costs 5 to cast and 5 to activate. The fuck? Well, I don't have a lot of creatures in this deck. And I don't have green, so I don't have access to a lot of fog effects. I could put darkness in the deck, but that's a one-use spell. Darkness is the black fog. And this has proven its value time and time again. Somebody's attacking me with a, they forget this is there, or they think they think they can punch through something. I don't know. They attack me, okay, I'll ride my carpet to safety. Oh yeah, that's right. You've got that bullshit in play. Yes, I have that bullshit in play. He enhances the game plan by dealing more damage to people for drawing cards, and he can kill creatures, so he better stay. Alright, so I'm looking at Soul Talisman and Thran Dynamo as the 2 possibilities that he can replace. Okay, this gives me 3 for 4. This gives me 2 for 1 and 3 turns, or I just get it out with, and I keep doing this. None of my decks have Thran Dynamo. I don't think even Shroom has a Thran Dynamo anymore. I just keep taking them out of decks. I've got like 3 or 4 of them. I started giving the ones that were reprinted recently, I started giving them away to people because I just have so many of them, and I just don't run them. They're just not that great. Oh look, see, it's sliding. So we use the... I'm glad I did. I really wanted a foil Thran Dynamo for a while. They're expensive for the versus legacy versions. They are not cheap. And I'm glad I didn't buy one because I wouldn't play it. I would still like to have one in my collection just to look at it. But if I'm going to spend that much money on a foil, it better be for a damn deck. So that's it. Those are the changes to Nekusar. I'll take him with me Thursday. What I did last night is I picked Nekusar because of the changes. I want to try him out. Then I rolled a d20, and deck number 7 was Roby, and then rolled it again. Deck number 9, rolled the 9, was Karavek. So I took them. So Thursday what I'll do is roll the d20 again, twice. I'll take Nekusar because I'm making so many changes to them, I want to see how they work. And then I'll let the dice decide who comes with them. Oh, by the way, Nekusar, let me just confirm by looking at Moxfield. Nekusar, before the Ancient Tomb, and these are not, this is the limitation of just looking at the cards for the bracket system. Nekusar is a bracket 2 deck. which actually, as often as he could fail, maybe he is. Maybe he really is a bracket 2 deck. Maybe even me putting in the Ancient Tomb, he's still barely better than a Precon.